Good morning, children. Welcome back to the online class of Sri Kogulam Public School, Vattagara. Did you remember where did we stop the last class? We started the new lesson, Nationalism in Europe, and we discussed how did national feelings emerge among the Europeans and why did they organize this liberal nationalism. Do you remember? And last part we discussed the Vienna Congress. 1815, after the failure of Napoleon, the big powers like Prussia, Austria, Britain, they met together at Vienna. Vienna, the capital of Austria. And from there, they formed a new conservative regime in France. Up to there, we completed the last class. Now, we have to discuss the revolutionaries. Okay? But revolutionaries, we discussed that earlier. Revolution means creating a certain or sudden changes. Here, the conservative regime, they did not allow the people to criticize them. So what happened? They did not have any freedom to express their feelings. So they organized their own secret societies. And these secret societies, they gave training to the revolutionaries to form the revolutionary activities against the existing government or monarchical rule. That to be a revolutionary at that time means commitment to oppose the monarchical rule that was formed after the Vienna Congress. Listen, and they wanted to fight for liberty or freedom and to get equality. The main objective, they want to get the freedom of press to express their feelings or ideas. Then one such revolutionary, that was Giuseppe Mazzini. He was an Italian revolutionary and he was born in 1807 in Genova. Listen, first he became a member of secret society known as Carbonari, and he organized revolutionary activities in Liguria, one of the Italian state. Because of that, he got the punishment and he was exiled to the other European nation at the age of 24. Listen, and then later he founded his own secret societies. He formed two secret societies named Young Italy and Young Europe. Young Italy, that was formed in Marseille, and Young Europe in Bern in Germany. Okay, did you clear? Here, look at the picture of Giuseppe Mazzini, and then he formed the two secret societies, Young Italy and Young Europe. Then he got more and more support from the different European countries. The like-minded men of the different European countries, they gave their full support to Giuseppe Mazzini, like that of liberal nationalists from France, Italy, Poland, Germany. All of them gave their full support to Giuseppe Mazzini. And then Mazzini, he told or he intended to the people that the God created the nation with the purpose of the unity of the mankind, not for establishment of the monarchical rule. Instead of that, the God intended or formed the nation with the purpose of creating unity among the people. This inspired the people. By hearing the words of Mazzini, the people, they were inspired and gave more and more support to Giuseppe Mazzini. That time we know Italy was divided into small states. There was no unity among these people. Okay, so they wanted to create unity among the Italians and to follow the uniform system of administration. Understood? He got support from the different European countries like Poland, then Switzerland, and many other countries. People, they gave their full support to Mazzini. Okay, then Mazzini, he was the most dangerous enemy of the conservative social order. That was remarked by Metternich. Who was Metternich? Did you remember? He was an Austrian chancellor and he hosted the Vienna Congress. And he remarked or he described Mazzini as the most dangerous enemy of our social order, because Mazzini organized the revolution against whom? Against the conservatives. Did you understand? Okay. Now we wanted to discuss the age of revolution from 1830 to 1848. What were the revolutionary activities organized during this period in European countries, especially in France? Okay, then in one side, the conservatives, they wanted to regain the old order or the monarchical power. The same time, the liberal nationalists, they wanted to form independent nations. They wanted to convert the nation to be as an independent nations. Then here, so many of the countries like Germany and the provinces of the Ottoman Empire, Italy, all these countries people, they organized the revolutionary activities during the period of 1830 and 1848. And these revolutionaries, they were led by the educated middle class, like that of professors, then please listen, school teachers, clerks, and the educated middle class people, they organized these revolutionary activities, or they organized the revolutions. Do you clear? Next we can discuss the revolution of 1830. The first upheaval of July 1830, that was started in where? In France. Listen, the first upheaval of July 1830, that was started in France. The Bourbon kings, they restored the power after the Vienna Congress that we discussed earlier. After the Vienna Congress in France, the Bourbon dynasty, they restored the power. And this Bourbon dynasty, they were overthrown by the liberal revolutionaries. After the revolution of July 1830, this Bourbon dynasty, that was overthrown by the liberal revolutionaries. And then what were the changes happened there after that we want to discuss now. France became a constitutional monarchy. The liberal revolutionaries, they overthrown the monarchical rule and they converted France as a the constitutional monarchy, and they appointed Louis Philippe as the head of the constitutional monarchy. So the revolution after that spread to the different countries like Belgium, and that spread to Belgium. Because of that, Belgium separated from the Netherlands. Earlier Belgium was a part of Netherlands. After getting the revolutionary activities or the inspiration from the July Revolution from France, then Belgium was separated from Netherlands, the Kingdom of Netherlands. Because of that, then Metternich, the Austrian Chancellor, he remarked that when France sneezes, the rest of Europe catches cold. That means what? Always the revolutionary activity starting from France and then spread to the other European nations. That is why he told about when France sneezes, the rest of Europe catches cold. Please see the picture. Okay. Then what did Metternich remark about this revolution? Now we have to discuss the Greek War of Independence. Listen, Greece, it was under the control of Ottoman Empire. They did not have any freedom. So they organized the independence war in 1821. Listen, since 15th century, Greek was under the control of which empire? Ottoman Empire. Ottoman Empire means Turkish Empire. Listen, and then the spread of revolutionary activities or nationalism in Europe, that caused for the Greek War of Independence. And in which year it was started? It was started in 1821. And who gave support to this Greek War of Independence? For this Greek War of Independence, they got the support from the Greeks, those who are living in other countries, as well as they got the support from Western Europeans. Why did the Western Europeans give support? Because the Western Europeans, they were afraid of that. The Turkish Empire or the Muslim Empire, under this empire, the Greek culture, that will be going down. Listen, they were afraid of that. That is why they gave the full support to this Greek War of Independence. They got the support from Western European, and they considered Greek culture as the cradle of European culture. Clear? That much of famous art and architecture that was remained in the country, Greece. So they were worried about that and they gave the full support for this purpose. One example, poet Lord Byron. He went to where Greece and then he gave the full support to the Greek War of Independence. He collected the funds and distributed to the Greek War of Independence. But unfortunately later in 1824 he died from Greece due to fever. Understood the Greek War of Independence? Okay, at last, according to the Treaty of Constantinople in 1832, the Greek got freedom. Understood? According to the Treaty of Constantinople. Constantinople, the capital of Turkish Empire. According to the Constantinople Treaty, they got the freedom in 1832. Did you clear the Greek War of Independence? Please see the chart. Next, we have to discuss the romantic imagination and national feeling. What is meant by romanticism? Romanticism is a cultural movement. It sought to develop a way of national feelings. Clear? Then poetry, stories, music, all this helped to create the national feelings among the people that we discussed earlier. Nationalism in India, the role of folk tales, folk songs, folk culture played a great role for creating nationalism. The same way, the Romanticism also played a great role for creating the national feelings. Okay, the culture that played an important role for creating national feelings among the Europeans. What is meant by Romanticism? It's a cultural movement that sought to develop a particular form of nationalistic sentiment. Clear? Then Romanticism is a cultural movement that sought to develop a particular form of nationalist sentiment among the people. And the romantic artists and poets, they criticized the glorification of reason and science. Instead of that, they gave more importance for the mystical feelings, intuition and mystical feelings. Clear? Their effort that was to create a sense of shared collective belongings among the people. Listen, the romantics, artists as well as the poets, they wanted to create the sense of shared belongings or collective belongings among the people. Please see the chart. Okay, the role of romanticism. And here we want to discuss an example. A German philosopher, John Gottfried Herder, he claimed that the true culture of a nation, listen, the true culture of a nation that was to be discovered among the common people, and he called the common people as Das Volk. Listen, who described it like that? Then a German philosopher who was the John Gottfried Herder, then he claimed that the true culture of the nation that was to be discovered among the common people and the true spirit of the nation, he called the true spirit of the nation as Volksgeist, that was popularized through folk songs, folk poetry and folk dances. Did you understand? Okay, please see the chart. John Gottfried Herder, Das Volk and Volksgeist. Clear it? Next part. Then, so they gave importance for collecting such like folk culture. Listen, then recording these forms of folk culture, collected and recorded that. Did you remember Nationalism India? We discussed it. Rabindranath Tagore, he collected the folk songs and folk tales as well as Nagesh Shastri in Madras. He also collected that was with the purpose of creating nationalism. The same way here also they collected the folk culture or the folk tales, folk songs like that. Listen, to recover the ancient national spirit and to carry the modern nationalist message among the people, especially to the illiterate people, the role of vernacular language, that is very important, because we know that the culture of the common people that could be easy to understand by learning through vernacular language. If we know that, or if you study the vernacular language, then only we could understand the culture of the common people. So the vernacular language also played a great role for creating the national feelings among the Europeans. Understood? Example, that in 18th century, Poland was partitioned and the part of Poland was occupied by Russia. And after that, Polish language that was then moved out of the school did not allow them to use the Polish language. Instead of that, they were forced to use which language only? Russian language only. The people were forced to use the Russian language, but they were not ready to use this language. Another example, in Poland, the national feelings that were kept along through the music and operas. Then please listen. In Poland, the national feelings that emerged through music and operas. Listen, through music as well as through languages. And example, Karol Kurpinski. Listen, he celebrated the national struggle through his operas and music. And he converted the folk dances like Polonaise and Mazurka into the national symbol. The folk dances like then Polonaise and Mazurka that he converted into what? The nationalist symbols. Did you clear? Next we want to discuss the role of language. Listen, the role of language for creating the national feeling. Language that played a great role for creating the national feelings among the Europeans. It created nationalist sentiments among the people. Again, I am saying the same example. After the occupation of Poland by Russia, then the Polish people, they were forced to use which language only? Russian language. But in 1831, they organized an armed rebellion against this. They wanted to get the freedom to use their own language. So, the members of the clergy in Poland, they used language as a weapon to fight against the conservatives. They used language as a weapon to fight against the whom? Against the Russian Empire. And Polish was used for church gatherings as well as they delivered the preachers in which language? Polish language only. Because of that, they got punishment and many of the priests or they were then exiled to the other countries. Do you clear? Please see the chart. Now I am stopping the class here. Then I hope all of you understood this part. Any doubt will be there. Please call me and clear your doubt. And next class we can discuss the next part of this lesson. Don't forget to complete the notes. Along with this video, I will send the questions also. You have to read the textbook, refer the points and prepare the notes. And next week I will be there in the live class also. If you will have any doubt, that we can clear at that time also. Or otherwise you can call me and clear the doubt. I hope all of you understood this and thank you.